technical issues one more time and get back to racing and back to qualifying once again, because we're not trying to have any issues at all, and hopefully make this a smooth experience. Of course, YouTube, I usually do stream myself on Twitch, so it's a little bit different. Meanwhile, Matthias is going to go on pole. As soon as we have the green signal, I think we should be good to go. And there we go, hopefully should be a good one. So let me do the intro once more. We are live for round 1 of the 10-round championship here at Olds Racing here at Austria. It's going to be the reverse track as well. It's myself, Zabi, and I'll be in the commentary box for the race for tonight to take you all along for an amazing race as well. I did the race for Tier 2 the end of Season 4 as well, so now getting to start the season as well, a season round here, definitely should be nothing but some great fun out here, as we already have got past halfway through qualifying and getting cars in. Meanwhile, Matthias and Grief for Kick Sauber are inside the top 4 with Matthias on pole 105.3. We're seeing a car come over the line, and that was a good lap, a decent lap in from Agent then going over to P5 so far. And at the moment 12 drivers have all got a time on board, with Swaggy and Rory out of the session. Not quite sure what happened there, because rather was focused on managing the stream and making it a better one. 2 minutes now remaining. Agent, meanwhile, the only driver on a flying lap at the moment, apart from others are out there as well, and improving is Cherry at the moment. There's drivers ahead of him. I wonder if they are on a flying lap as well. Mercedes is not on a lap. Abdul is going to be invalidating. He's invalidated his lap. What about the other man? Hagi, the other Ferrari. One is in the pits. The other is going to go over the line. Try and find an improvement on his previous time by a lot over that finish line. Going to improve by 2.6 seconds, but only good enough for P10. Only good enough for P10. What about Abdul? He's invalidated. Cherry's going to be there. He's not going to be invalidating, hopefully, so far. He's on a hard tyre. That is an interesting choice. I mean, I've never seen anybody on a hard tyre in qualifying. Sure, we have seen drivers use medium tyre for their first runs, but hard tyres, it's interesting. Would be nice to see whether he's able to find any improvement on his previous time of 110.7 or not. He's going to head into the pits. Then, oh, that was close. Not quite sure what happened there, because on my screen he hit the wall, so maybe something went wrong there as a bug. What about Streamy Walls at the moment? Currently for P9 at the moment, 107.5. He's still got him to improve at least 6 tenths to move further and change of his position and over that finish line. Does it look like he's going to improve? Yes, he will, and move into the top 6 of the grid so far here in qualifying. But just like that, he's going to be denied by Scrapey, who's going to move forward and into P6 ahead of Streamy at the moment. And Streamy did a good lap, but it was denied. Not denied, but just got the position taken by the Mercedes driver. Meanwhile, the Ferrari's going to start a flying lap. What about Abdul? It is going to be Abdul over that line. He's going to try and put a time on board, and he's better than his previous one. It will be better than his previous one, but only good enough for P11. Meanwhile, we were focused on at the bottom. James has found a time, and a very fantastic and competitive time of 104.824, and what a time that is from Japes there, and that is very competitive at the moment. Matthias is going to be starting the flying lap as well, so there should be no time before we see him go for a better time or improvement on his on these last runs in qualifying. But I'm sure this is going to be interesting, and these drivers are going to be making it interesting for us. Is Scrappy going to improve again once more over the line? No, he will not. He was doing a cool down lap then. He's done already 2 laps on these soft tyres, so I wonder why he did not pit or didn't decide to pit so far. So not a lot of drivers, as I said, still on a flying lap, apart from a few. Harper is one of them who is on a flying lap. What about Abdul? He's not going to be on a flying lap, but Harper will be. Both Ferraris currently just on the cusp of getting out of the top 10 at the moment. P9 and 10, both the two teammates at the moment. Depends for how long can they stay there, or are they going to be moving forward so far. So hopefully should be a nice one. I mean, at the moment we are focused with these drivers doing laps, and hopefully let me know how is the stream video and audio quality. Do let me know. My very first time streaming to YouTube, so have no idea how it is performing or doing, because usually Twitch, and I think it's different. It's not a lot different, but a little bit different. So just still trying to figure out. So apologies if we miss a little bit of an action. Just round one, so settling things in. But has Harper settled in on the grid so far across that line? No, he has not. Doesn't improve. 6/10 down, 600ths of a second down on his previous time. So he will not be finding any improvement at the moment. We could say. What about his teammate, who's just going to be starting a flying lap? So he's not going to be improving as well. And at the moment, we are seeing others try and come over that finish line on their flying laps, and the Kicksauber driver is going to be one of them, and it's going to be none other than Matthias. But does he find an improvement? Is he going to be improving over that line? He needs to be improving by much of a time to go on pole or take that pole position back to himself. Is he going to be able to do that? Not quite, though. He's over 3/10 down on his previous lap, so that is going to be him having to do a lot of hard work to try that happening. Is it the Williams drivers? That is indeed going to be the Williams of Cherry Monster. He did a lap previously on the hard tyre. He was P11, but he only goes P10 with a lap on the soft compound tyre, so it doesn't make a huge difference. What about Haggy? It's not Haggy, it's Harper once more, but he's not going to be on an improvement lap. What about the Mercedes of Scrapey over that line? He's improving by over 2/10. Is it going to be good enough to make him a position switch? No, it won't be. Oh, indeed it will be. He's going to move up to P5 from P6 on the grid so far. What about Grief? He's just on a flying out lap at the moment. And anybody else that's going to be closer to that finish line, it is indeed going to be Haggy. We saw his teammates do a super lap. Oh, on the exit, he's going to slide out. He's going to slide, and he's already far down on previous time, so he will not be finding any kind of improvement on his previous time. 3.5 minutes just about remain in the session. Matthias is going to head into the pits as well. Anybody that we are going to be looking after who's on an improvement lap? I don't think so. Meanwhile, Cherry lets the Red Bull of Abdul through as well, and Abdul at the moment in P12, last of the running cars. There is two, Swaggy and Rory, retired out of the session. I'm not sure whether they retired on purpose or collided out on track. And I remember, reverse grid Austria is going to be interesting concept in terms of, usually we see a lot of drivers get penalties around Austria. I mean, still a very punishing circuit, and even harder reverse grid. So it would be interesting to see whether drivers can keep up the performance, or can they improve on getting penalties, or is it not going to be too good? What about Grief, though? Is he going to be good enough? Something put to get himself into the top 3? No, it won't be. It still stays P4. Improves over 4/10 though. Meanwhile, Matthias is still in the pits. Tams as well, along with Scrapey, Agent. All these guys now should be coming out for their final runs. Meanwhile, Jay has retired, because Japes has now retired. He's over a few tens up on the driver in second place. I'm sure he's going to be now thinking about maybe not a lot others can do, or at least not a lot he can do, because maybe you think that sure that he's going to retire because knowing that others aren't going to be a threat, but then also sometimes what you got to do is that if you think that you can't improve, you have to retire as well. What about this man Abdul on your screen? His teammates out of the session. He's currently last of the cars, but over that finish line he's going to improve by over 2 seconds and move up into P10. But how good of a lap is that going to be? We're getting drivers out of the session, drivers retiring, of course, to go to the end as quickly as they can. Grief over that line, going to try and improve, but indeed he will not be improving at the moment, at least by the dash from the middle sector. Indeed, he does not improve. Agent at the moment for RB, the only RB, in fact, outside the top 5 so far. So looking at this one, are we going to see the Harper one Ferrari retire, the others to improve? Not so far. And I think Matthias is on an outlap. He's definitely going to be looking for time. He's going to be looking for things to improve, and I wonder how much time is remaining actually out on the track, because at the moment, as it stands, seeing yellow flag, but it's of course the local yellow. That's his cars letting others, one or the other driver, get past. At the moment, that's not anything related with an incident. But what about Abdul? He should be there. I mean, any driver, he's got the Williams, he's got the RB. One RB of Tams is on an outlap. What about Agent at the moment? Agent is indeed on a flying lap. What about Grief, though? He's not on a flying lap. Matthias is. But he's far away. He's invalidated. And he's invalidated his lap. That means that's pretty much going to be qualifying over for him, unless it's a bug or it's showing wrongful information for me. And now, with not a lot of time remaining, everybody that goes over that line should be taking the checkered flag. Meanwhile, the RB of Agent goes into P5, and now only 20 seconds remaining. So anybody that goes over the line and after those 20 seconds are over should be taking the checkered flag in qualifying. At the moment, Japes has done the fastest time of the session so far. Nobody has been able to catch him at all, and now the question is going to be, is Matthias going to be over the line or not so far? No, he won't be. 3, 2, 1, and that's going to be qualifying over, and a pole position dream over for him as well, with others having taken the checkered flag. And now only Tams along with a few other drivers out on the track trying to find an improvement. On the exit, might have got a little bit unstable and might not be finding any better improvement or something better than his previous time. But we are about to find out whether something is about to be happening, and Japes has been kicked out of the session. So let's try and see what we can do to bring these drivers back. Let's try and add him back. I don't know whether I can do it from here though, because let's actually check that. Yeah, I think we should be able to view profile. No, he's on PlayStation. That is great. And there we go. That is going to be the end of the qualifying session, ladies and gentlemen, for our round 1 of the 10-round season. It's going to be Japes on pole, ahead of Matthias, ahead of Tams, ahead of Grief, and then Agent completing the top 5. Just outside the top 5 is going to be Scrapey, Streamy, Cricky Wolf, Harper, and Abdul completing the top 10, with Cricky Monster, Cherry Monster, and Haggy complete the top 12 drivers that completed a lap time on board, with Swaggy and Rory without a time on board. We're going to try and bring our drivers and our pole sitter back into the session, but we are about to find out whether we can bring them back in, or there has to be a little bit of a wait before we get started. So we should be waiting for these drivers to set up a time on board, get their setups on, get their cars ready. The teams are going to try and get their drivers ready and out on the track once more, as we're going to try and I don't know, how do I add anybody actually? Okay, that is going to be the PlayStation profile, which is great, but I don't know whether I can do it or not. Oh, it's already getting started, and it is indeed getting started already. 5 lights out, and we go racing without a pit stop, without a driver himself being out there. We're going to try and add him there quickly so he could join very soon, and we're going to try and send him the request, but he's got this is AI driving, and already that's going to be the benefit of the Kicksauber drivers and cars. They're going to be leading and joining that a team out there already, and they're leading the race 1-2. It's going to be a RB. It's going to be Kick Sauber 1-2, and I wonder if we can try and quickly invite our pole sitter quickly into the session. I wonder we can do that or not. We should be able to do that, but I have no idea. Okay, there is indeed no option to invite him into the game. So, in fact, we can invite him into the game. The invite has been sent, and now we're going to try and get back onto the action once more. Matthias leads from Grey, from Agent. Swaggy's already to P4. Ladies and gentlemen, the man that last lost on the grid is on to P4, maybe trying to do a last to first challenge there, because he's going to be side by side into Agent. They're going to go in the final corner. Already that was very close between the two, and Agent's Swaggy's through already and ahead of others. What about Jay? Jay should be back into the session, or in fact, I don't know whether he's back in now or not, and that's going to be interesting, as we already have him. I think he might not be back in the control again, and we're going to try and see. He's joining just now, we've been told, so that is interesting. We're just trying to keep things on with Matthias at the moment leading 4/10 ahead of his teammate Grave. Swaggy in P3 already. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at the detail of how many positions he's getting. He's getting over 10 positions. That means he started 13th, just one position ahead of the final one, and that then means that shortly after, oh, he's going to go wide. Agents went for it on the inside line, but he runs super deep, and that's going to allow Swaggy to come back at him. They're still going to be side by side. They make contact. Agent's almost going to go onto the grass there. That was close between the two once more. He went for it already, but that was close. Meanwhile, right behind them is going to be Rory as well. Both of them, sure, we're doing a Rasta First challenge then, because both of them are at the moment in P3 and 5 so far, so having started in 13th and 14th place, the two drivers. Looking for a move here, Rory, just behind Agent at the moment. Agent's going to be trying to defend. He's going to go super wide. He's going to go very wide, and that is going to be piece on. That's going to be cherry on top for Rory at the moment. He's going to be through into P4 and ahead of Agent already. Meanwhile, looking at the back of the grid as well, trying to find some action at the back. That's going to be Jay Japes now making all the progress that he lost because being kicked out of the session already. I mean, it's 2025, F1 25, and we're still facing these EA server issues. But I mean, let's move forward, hopefully get things on, and these drivers are really going to be, I mean, Japes is going to be trying everything he can at the moment. What about Rory at the moment? They're going to be side by side once more. Can he go on the inside line? No, he can't. For a moment we could have thought he was going to be doing it. It's kind of weird as well, you know. It's completely different track, completely same track, not different, but different reverse grid. So reverse way. I'm not quite sure whether how's it going to be, but at the moment currently the top two teammates are still staying there with Swaggy and P3. Just behind is Agent at the moment, just ahead of Rory. Streamy, you currently in P6. Already 3 drivers with a penalty on time penalty. I mean, Austria is already punishable in terms of penalties, super punishable. You know, you get a lot of penalties. Meanwhile, there's going to be a fight between Japes and Streamy there. Is Streamy going to be able to go make the move back, switch back on the inside line on the exit? Can he quite do it going up the hill? Japes went for it on the outside inside line, made the overtake, went a little bit wide. That allows Streamy to come back at him. They're still going to be side by side. He hasn't quite made the move. Who's going to be late on the brakes? He's going to send it on the inside line, and they're going to make contact. Japes and Streamy there. Japes gave him a lot of space there, but still not quite enough for him to be escaping without contact. Meanwhile, Scrape being currently in P8 with Craigie Wolf in P9, followed by Abdul in P10 with Tams in P11 with Harper and Haggy, the 2 Ferraris in 10th, 12th and 13th. The final car of Mercedes Cherry Monster, Williams' Cherry Monster, with meanwhile the 2 teammates, the two Sauber teammates still maintaining their team. Meanwhile, 4.9 seconds behind the Swaggy of the lead. The leaders have been able to gain a lot of ground then against others. So not the leaders, but yeah, the leaders in fact. But meanwhile, Agents are going to, oh, he's going to go wide again. He's went multiple times super wide as Agent. One more time, we're going to find out. Meanwhile, there is going to be, before we could find out anything, there is going to be a switch for the lead. And for a moment, we could have thought Tams was leading for most of the time. So I wonder if Greek tried to go for it on the inside or try and go for a challenge for the moment. But again, he's going to have to back out with the DRS opening, the rear wing opening, and the whole advantage to Grief. Is he going to go on the inside line of turn 1? No, he will not. Just going into the left-hander, uphill left-hander into turn 2 now. Possibly a chance is going to be there from turn 2 to turn 3 and 4. A possible chance on the way for Grief to go for it, or any DRS zone or DRS option for him. There's no DRS zone then going around here. Usually there's 4 DRS zones around it, 3 DRS zones indeed around here, and all of them are on the normal, usually into turn 1, 2 and 3, but that is not the case around here, as it is the reverse circuit, reverse track. Meanwhile, Harper has overtaken Abdul, but I think rather it looks like more than an on-track overtake. That could have been a mistake from Abdul that could have allowed others to be through, and really at least Harper was there and he made that move successful. Meanwhile, the 2 race leaders, top 2 are still going to be there with each other, and I think the fight for 3rd place is going to be on with Swaggy in P3, Agent in P4, still maintaining that. Rory at the moment, for a moment looked like he was super quick, but he hasn't quite been able to do that, and now he might be in big pressure from James, because James is trying to make all that progress back again, and he's really doing that after getting disconnected. He's going to go on the inside line, and before they could even get to that braking zone, he's going to be through and ahead of everybody around him, and a moment that has taken Japes to be overtaking and making the move stick. He's quite done that, and he's going to be big pressure. Now Agent's going to be big pressure as well, because Japes has made the move on the Mercedes, and now Agent is going to be the next target for him, because Japes, remember, got disconnected at the race start, so he fell backwards to the back of the grid almost, and already there's a DNF, and there might be a car having crashed at the moment. I wonder if there's going to be a safety car. There will not be. And we're going to see Japes one more time. This time the actual DRS zone has been enabled. DRS has been enabled with the rear wing opening. Aiden's going defensive on the inside line aggressively. He moves in the braking zone, and he stashes him wide. He's going to go wide along with the driver ahead as well. Both of them are going to run wide there, and now Aiden's going to be doing everything he can to defend, but I don't think he should be moving really now, because he's going to make contact. They're literally going to make contact once more. Oh, that's crazy. I'm sorry to say, but that is not the standard that should be around it, because for a moment we saw him earlier move left and right to defend as well, and this time again they're now going to be through. Now Rory going to be through on Agent as well. Agent might try and stick there on the inside. Now he's going to run wide. Rory's in that Mercedes going to run wide, because Agent still sticking there, still not having to back out at all, not wanting to back out at all. Meanwhile, Japes is already just a second down on Swaggy, and Swaggy is going to be trying to defend against on Japes, but depends for how long or before he does get overtaken at the moment. Meanwhile, he's going to go a little bit wide there. Will Rory, is he going to allow Agent to get through? Not at the moment. Drivers behind. Scrapey is just ahead of Streamy as well. What about... meanwhile, Rory has been able to defend his position for time being, and we're about to find out. Agent gets a penalty, another 3-second time penalty. Let's actually have a look at the penalties so far. That is going to be, and 3 seconds for everybody. Meanwhile, we're seeing positions switching. Scrapey has fallen back. Scrapey has fallen back. That is interesting. Not quite sure what happened with him, but he's fallen back. Meanwhile, there's a change for the race lead as well, as Swaggy's now going to be coming into the pits. So in at lap 9, going on to a set of hard compound tire, and definitely then maybe going for a sub medium hard or medium hard medium strategy at this point, because definitely I doubt that he's going to be able to take these hards to the end. So a lot of laps that is going to be, so possibly a 2-stop strategy around here, even reverse grade, but still the strategy is going to be similar. Meanwhile, these two are closer to each other within 1 second, Hams and Creaky Wolf at the moment, having focused on others. Meanwhile, the 2 teammates are going to be there, and Mattia is going to be getting ahead and taking that race lead back, which was taken from him earlier, and now around the outside. His teammates not going to back out at all. He's going to almost run them both wide for a moment, but this will seem to be quite good and quite smooth for time being. I think maybe later on he's going to go into the pits. Will Grief, and Matthias is going to continue So lap 10 out of 36. Already having drivers coming into the pits, drivers making those pit stops. The top three having, and Jabe's already in P2. I mean, sure, he's going to be a pit stop down. He's on the hard tyre. I think he can scrape a few more laps than others for the moment, because then that's going to be all he can pray that saves him at the moment, because you know that after such an incident or problematic start, you do not want more things to go wrong for you. And I think so far he's done a very good job in terms of trying to recover all of that, especially the amount of speed and pace he had. So that is fair. And I think now Swaggy gets ahead of Scrapey at the moment. Can't wait to see Swaggy move his pace. Meanwhile, Tams is going to be fighting with Creaky Wolf. They had been fighting for a while, and now Tams going to be getting ahead and moving forward. Another position taken from Creaky Wolf there, as Creaky might have a chance to come back at him so far, but it's not going to be the case, at least at this point in time. But sure, later on in this race, we should be seeing anything. Meanwhile, the Williams driver is going to be heading into the pit lane and get into the pits for a set of brand new tyres at the moment. New tyres for the Williams driver, and I think that is going to be a chance for him to move forward later on in the race. I mean, on the hard tyres, only 9 laps. So you see some of the medium tyre runners still out of the track, but I think it's fine. I mean, if you are wanting to go for a one stop, which I don't think if you pit around lap 10 or even lap 15, it's nearly going to be impossible, especially if you go 15 laps on instead of a hard compound tyre. Meanwhile, there's going to be a move coming up for a Swaggy. For a moment we could have thought, but it's not going to be coming up, at least at this point in time. But round the straight with the help of that DRS, there should be nobody stopping him, and already he's moving left and right. He almost made a disaster there, because he quickly switched from inside to the outside, trying to get back to the racing line, but that was extremely risky. And already there's a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That is interesting, because I've never seen that happen though, but that definitely means that he's done a lot more than we maybe would have seen out there, and the agent in the pit as well. So I was talking about the strategy point of view, even if you do at the start 15 more laps on a set of hard compound tire, but there's no way that you can take the medium tire to the mark of more than 10 or 12 laps. At the moment, Rory taking that 11 laps, but it'll depend for how long they can do that. Meanwhile, our race leaders, the net race leaders, are fighting for it. The Streamy hasn't quite pitted, and the Grave is back already and getting ahead of Streamy at this point and taking that net race lead back. And the drivers ahead are going to be pitting. They're going to be pitting for a new set of tyres and getting out of the way, but not too long before Matthias gets ahead as well. Streamy is going to try and move left and right to try and defend everything. Meanwhile, Harper is out of this race, and he is out of the Grand Prix. I'm not sure if the safety car is off, because earlier on we had a crash, there was no safety car, and this one as well. So maybe, was there a snap for a moment, we could have thought. And Swaggy is, yep, we see tyre marks out of the gravel, and that could be the case as well. Meanwhile, Rory coming into the pit lane, so still the top 3 there. Meanwhile, Strees moves into second place. There's Grave 11 seconds the gap to Japes, and I think Japes now should be thinking for pitting as well. A lot of drivers, a lot of action going on out on the track, so apologies if we are missing something out at this point. But now look at this one. Is Streamy going to be able to fight back at this one? I don't think so. 12-lap old hard tyres as compared to 2-lap old hard tyres. You always, any day, going to take the newer tyres to yourself. Meanwhile, going at the back, it is going to be Agent still trying to fight himself in some fightings. Meanwhile, there's going to be Harper having left the session, and there's going to be a car, Williams, and I think that was a lapped car, because it was, yep, it is. It seems to be driving, but that is Cherry Monster having been lapped by a car. It's almost all the whole track done, because he's been lapped by Agent, and might be lapped soon by Scrapey as well. Meanwhile, it's going to go run super wide. Scrapey's run super wide there, because we were talking about, we were thinking about the other Mercedes, which is Rory, and that is going to be Scrapey once more going super wide. I believe he went wide there previous lap as well, because I saw tire marks coming out of the same corner while he was coming out from another car, and that definitely means that he's finding it really not easy at all. I mean, how do we expect him to find it easy there? Because 12-lap old hard tyres, you don't quite really expect that at all. And with the pit stops happening, with the drivers moving up and down the grid at the moment, the grid is looking like to be moving away from one another. It's separating kind of, but not around here. Meanwhile, there's going to be a driver coming out of the pit lane, and that's going to be streaming on a set of soft compound tires. Currently exiting in P9, Dams in P8 at the moment. His teammate Agent still in P5, just ahead of the two Mercedes drivers. But are they going to be doing that? Meanwhile, he's going to go wide. Scrappy's going to go super wide one more time and allow his teammate to be through. I mean, he's really going deep into the corners and not judging these ones easy at all, and really going deep into the corners. And there's a crash. Is there a crash? Indeed it is. And he's lucky really there. I wonder if there's any damage to him or not, but sure, I heard a bang and heard a noise that would make anyone believe that there is a car crashed out on track. We sure saw that, but has he got no damage as well? Okay, he's got just one half of the front wing missing, so that is a pretty strong car Mercedes making there, because I think maybe straight on, actually, it is true that it is okay, from my personal experience as well, that if you do go straight into the wall, the front wing does save you a lot. So if, for example, if he went sideways in, or in a way that he made a contact with tires first, I think that would have been definitely suspension done, and no way that he would have been able to connect back in. But this time he hit the wall, and I think just a front wing change. I mean, be lucky enough to not really get out of the race at this point, to be honest. So sure, without doubt, not getting out of the race is going to be a thing. And Japes now out of the pits, and I think that is a very good progress from Japes at the moment. He's only 3 tenths down on Swaggy. Might well be coming up for a move very soon on the inside or the outside, and Japes already going to get that fastest lap on a set of hard compound tires. It's race 1. You always want to have a great start to a season, to a brand new season, round 1. And Swaggy now once more is going to have to find it very hard to defend. No DRS zone, of course, into turn 1. Oh, that was very close there. And now going around this turn 6 and 7 on the usual track, they're going to make contact there. Race 2 is going to get into the back of that Red Bull, but I think very closely they're driving, so you expect a few bangs or a few here and there around there. The main problem is that's going to be him. A slight little mistake from Swaggy there. He's not going to back out at all. He's not having it easy on him at all. But on the exit there, he may hit the car a little bit. Unstabilization in that car. And on the inside line, Swaggy's not going to back out. He's send it on the inside line. But can he get a back switch back? Is a McLaren driver going to be able to do the switch back there on the exit? Both of them on the hard compound tire. Swaggy on a lot older tires than Japes is, but they're still going to be side by side. Nobody wants to back out. Swaggy didn't have the DRS. He did have the DRS. Japes didn't. And now Japes might have the DRS. He indeed will, or in fact he will not have it, and nobody has the DRS. Not quite sure what happened there, or unless the Red Bull had it, because he didn't have it, and they're still going to be fighting for a position they did early on, and Japes going to run very wide. This battle is still continuing on, still strong battle on between these two for third place on the grid, and I think Japes really wants this place. Oh, that was very close once more, almost they made contact. As I said, Japes really wants this because he wants to get ahead and then try and go after the lead, as there's 6.6 seconds at the moment. The longer he's stuck behind that Red Bull, the better, the worse it is for him, but I think the better it is. Oh, he's going to go run wide. He's going to lose that little bit of rear and Swaggy, and there's no recovering from that. With the help of that DRS, along with that DRS, he's going to be through and into P3, making that move, moving forward and back to the podium positions. He started on pole, remember, got disconnected, was not in the car for a lap or two at the start, still recovered back again after coming back, and so far you have to say he has not disappointed yet at all and is really doing a fantastic job so far. So lap 18 out of 36, we're pretty much halfway distance done as well. Definitely expect these drivers to do a two stops. Definitely one more stop for everybody, at least, of course. We could see others getting closer in the moment, so this a little fight after the pit stops could be interesting between. Oh, that is interesting. No, that is not interesting actually. So Jape's agent is in his own race at the moment, along with some others. So two drivers already out of this race, with the two drivers who lost are Harper and Abdul. One Ferrari and one Red Bull so far, and there is a spin around, and that is going to be a Ferrari at the back, I believe, was spun around, and yes, indeed it is Hagi. He seems to be intact, and all his car in one piece. Not sure about that, but at least in one piece in a way that he's not out of the Grand Prix. And sure, it seems to be in one piece, only losing out a little bit of front wing out there, only the front wing end plate on the left-hand side, I think. That corner, then I think definitely drivers might not be used to the reverse layout, and as I just say that, there is going to be a driver out of the session. It's going to be Cherry Monster. He was already far down on the rest of the grid, but might have just went straight into the walls around here, because this is a tricky corner, and almost our race leader goes right there as well, because you have to get it super nice. And look at that, well, that is Japes doing a fantastic job taking those curves, taking those apexes, I should say, hitting the apex very nicely, nice and easy so far. And as it stands, no driver is actually within 1 second of each other, apart from the two race leaders at the moment, maintaining 1-2. And so far, Grieve is leading. I think they're not fighting each other at the moment, but not quite sure when is that going to be really, or when is there going to be a time between these drivers that they decide to pit for the moment. I'm trying to get on, of course, pit stops. I mean, the second pit stops coming in for drivers are going to be a chance as well. I think definitely, at the moment, looking at some medium tire runners, Hagi, Rory, along with Scrapey, could go a little bit longer, but the likes of Creaky should be coming into the pits anytime soon, along with Streamy there, with Thomas Tams as well. 7-lap older medium tires. Hot tires, Agent, pretty much one of the newer tires. One of the drivers has got brand new tires on at the moment, and they're going for that race laid back again. Graves so far still leads on. I mean, he's not overtaking, and by the amount of that they are, the gap between them is, I think, surely he can overtake without a doubt, but he's not quite going for it already. He's trying to stay out maybe in that DRS range a little bit, trying to not get overtaken, or execute a perfect move towards the end of this race, which could be beneficial for him. I mean, if he does overtake right now, it's pretty much going to be back and forth between them, or even if it's no back and forth, the other driver doesn't overtake him at the moment, but could go for it in those final laps. And I think he knows it. I think there's no doubt that he could be thinking about maintaining, moving that. They're their teammates, so I think at the end of the day, they're looking to score 5 points as a team. They're looking to score as much as they can as one team, and not hope that not a lot happens in terms of crashes or contacts being made between the two teammates at this point. And now down the inside line, Matthew's gonna go for it this time around though. Matthias waited too long and waited for a few laps continuing on, but this time around he couldn't quite wait, and he went for it on the inside line and overtakes, takes back the race lead that was his and at lap 1, and goes back into the lead of the race and leads the Austrian Grand Prix on lap 22 out of 36. Now moving towards the final 10 very soon, not yet. So far, meanwhile, Japes, 2.4 seconds. Japes is getting closer. Japes is indeed getting closer. The gap, which was over 5 or 6 seconds between these drivers. For a moment, it's only 2.4 seconds, but it depends when they pit again, because I wonder if Japes is going to try and do an undercut on these guys, or go for an overcut. I'm sure he wants to enjoy that race lead for a moment and definitely do something different from the drivers at the front. So I'm sure he's going to try and do all he can, and also get on with things for the moment. With we're going to have the lap data, we're not going to have the telemetry, so we have a little bit clearer view of the cars going ahead. Japes 2.1 seconds now, and I think if they want to have the undercut, if they want to actually do a undercut on these drivers, possibly the Sauber drivers could be heading into the pits very soon. 1.9 seconds, and now look at that. He's pulling away. Matthias, apologies about that. Matthias pulling away for the moment from his teammate as well. 1.6 seconds the gap between the two as it stands, and there's going to be another Red Bull spun around though, or is it a Red Bull? Is the other? Yes, it is Red Bull, and it's the Red Bull Swaggy, the man who looked for a comfortable 4th place finish. Still going to be comfortable though, as others are, the drivers behind are going to be about 2 seconds behind, but that is going to be a bit of a problem now. The gap was a lot more, and he was kind of in a race of his own, if not more at least, coming home for a P4 finish. But now it's going to be all shattered. He's got a front wing and plate missing, and a damaged front wing as well. Now he's got to do that, drive with that to the end of this race, and really have to be navigating through with that so far, along with Japes now. Only 5 tenths between the two. He should be on the way to overtake Grief very soon, in no time. But when is that going to be done? We're about to find out. Not yet. Not the DRS zone going into turn 3, of course, so he's got to wait for that before there comes the DRS into turn 4. There doesn't come the DRS, of course. We'll turn to turn 5, 6 and 7, the only right-handers in this layout, which is of course the reverse layout. Meanwhile, there's going to be moves coming up, and Agent's going for it. The fight between Agent and Swaggy's going to reverse. He's going to come back again. He's going to go to the wall, and Swaggy on the exit there hit the wall, and he might just have the other part of the front wing missing as well. How about that? He hasn't quite done that. It is there already. Meanwhile, there's a move coming up for JJ, for Japes, and he's quite done that already. And a move for Japes back again. The man who fell back at the start. Has returned back, and he's done a fabulous job so far. 2 seconds to the car ahead, and he's better than definitely the undercut I was talking about. He might have just pulled the trigger on that now. And a set of medium tires to the end. That seems a sensible option with about 11 laps to go to the end after this one, including this after this one, of course. So that's going to be interesting, depending how many laps you want to be doing on those medium tires at the moment. I think best option for overcut for Japes is that he stays out maybe for a two or three laps more longer, and there's going to be a slide. There's going to be a bit of a slide from Grief. They're almost losing the car and losing out all that progress that he's had done. But easy job there's going to be in yeah, I was talking about the Japes' possibility of a race lead move, actually, because he's going to have to pit once more as well. So possibly he goes a few laps longer, and then even if he does lose position, he's going to come out on a lot fresher medium tires. And even if they don't be fresh at that moment, later on in the race, when Japes is going to when Matthias is going to be on 10 lap, 11 lap older medium tires, there is still going to be a chance for Japes to go for it. Meanwhile, Tams and it's the Mercedes of Scrappy, Agent and Scrappy are going for it out here at the moment. 1.1 second the gap between these two, so not a lot separating the two at the moment. Then the two others who are not separated by a lot is going to be Creaky and Rory. 1.3 seconds between the two so far. So 3 drivers out of the session. The drivers we've lost are Cherry Monster, AJ Harper and Abdul so far. Lap 26 out of 36. So that is going to be 10 laps remaining after this one, and there is a lot still remaining in this race so far. Meanwhile, remember the penalties as well. Let's have a look at the drivers, all those who've got penalties, and look at that, nobody's stopped on a 3-second time penalty. The less is 6 seconds, which is to Streamy and Cricky Wolf as well, followed by 9-second penalties to the Agent and Scrapey, with then 15-second time penalty to Tams there. So a lot of penalties, at least so far for them. And at the moment, as it stands, Japes still stays out. 12 seconds the gap to car behind. I mean, he can still come out in P2, I'd say, though. Yeah, 22 seconds to P3, so... Oh, he's got a 3-second time penalty. He's got a 3-second time penalty as well as our late race leader so far. He's a pit stop down, remember. I think a possible chance of his race win might be slipping away with him not having the pit stop, the penalty to himself. So that is going to be definitely something that he's going to need to work hard on. Meanwhile, Tams is going to be fighting out with the Haas of Streamy. Doing all the hard work he can so far at the moment. Streamy in that Haas, maintaining a P7 so far. Oh, he's going to go for it. Yes, he will. He's going to extend it all the inside. And both RP drivers have been aggressive then. I mean, we saw Agent early on being aggressive with moves and defending as well. And now sent it. Thames there. And I think you have to say, give credit to the other driver as well for leaving enough space. But I think what a move that was. Late, but quite great execution. I mean, these moves are make it or break it because they're almost dive bombs. And if you get it wrong, you're going to be in for some big trouble. What about the trouble that at the moment the Mercedes driver is in? And he's going to be overtaken by the Red Bull. Swaggy's going to move up and to P5, but he might be running wide a little bit, and that might allow Scrapey to come back at him though. With the DRS, there's going to be a proper chance for Scrapey to go back at him into the final corner. A chance for him to come back at him. At the moment, he can't quite do it. Is there, but now one more DRS zone, one more chance at the DRS. He's going to try and do it once more. Can he quite do it? No, he's not close enough at all. Meanwhile, moving forward. Between the top, Japes has bit in. He's now on no lap old tyres as compared to Matthias's 2 and 3 lap older medium tyres, and definitely keep an eye on this one because that towards the end of the race is going to be super crucial, absolutely crucial for the tyres. And already within 1 second, within half a second they are. Japes did overtake Grief earlier on. He's going to do it once more on the inside, and with that help of that DRS through, he's going to go from outside. He's going to move back to the racing line to defend his position at the moment. He's quite going to be able to do that, but can he do that at the moment? Are we going to see Grief come back at Japes, or Japes going to be moving forward and trying to get to Matthias at the moment? The gap 7.2 seconds. Can he bring that down towards the end? Pretty much 7 laps remaining to the end of this lap. So 8 laps, including this one, to the end of it. And he's got a lot to do there so far in this one. I think he knows that he's got the opportunity on his hands, and he doesn't want to really give up on that. But also remember, even if he's able to overtake the race leader, he's got a 3-second time penalty. So unless Matthias gets one, there is going to be Japes having to do a lot of hard work, not only after overtaking, but and then pulling away 3 seconds, which I don't think, unless he puts out a complete masterclass, I think it's going to be super hard. So at the moment, I think the focus for Japes is going to be that he just pulls away from Grave. Oh, and there's a safety car. There is a full course safety car. Not sure what happened there because no driver is out of the session. The Ferrari driver, he's out of the front wing without a complete front wing, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why the safety car would be out. I don't know whether he's collided with somebody else or crashed by himself, because he was causing a lot of yellows earlier on, and definitely has been caught with a big damaged front wing, and that is problems. For Hagi so far at the moment, and he's going to head in the pits, try and get a new set of tyres. Definitely those soft tyres, I think within 4 laps would have been done. And we are now going to be seeing one thing though: those who did not pit are going to be with a very good chance. Tams, Streams and others. Interesting choice of a soft compound tyre. I mean, I'm not sure how much is the tyre wear around here, but I did a race just earlier on around Spa, and the hards would not last more than 4 or 5 laps. So it's an interesting choice, but still, I think considering a few laps would already be behind the safety car, so interestingly, it would be nice to, go on a set of a new hard soft tire, and probably towards the end when only 2 or 3 laps to remain after the safety car goes in, it's going to be a proper chance so far. So far in this race, Matthias leads ahead of Japes with Grief in P3, along with Agent in P4, doing a very good job, followed by Swaggy, who's going to come into the pits just now for a set of new tyres. Already done 5 laps on his mediums, might as well change. Then Tam's on one in P6 on a set of soft tyres, along with Scrapey, Creaky, Stream, and Rory on a set of brand new soft compound tyres, with Haggy going on a set of mediums. You might not have a new set of hard softs, having already used that, so that's going to be interesting. I think at the moment now pulling away 3 seconds might actually be even more harder. And that might be not harder at all, and so far I think, yes, he might not be at the moment, because you have to think about one thing, that, you know, at the moment, that earlier on, maybe if he somehow made it to, you know, to the end, and now not only away from the leader, but now he's got the job to get away from others, because now the rest of the grid will be within 3 seconds when it gets back, the safety car gets back in. So this is definitely going to be, I think, a job on the Japes' shoulders, without a doubt. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of a break, unless there is any exciting thing happening on track or anything that changes. I might have to pick up on that, but otherwise we're going to be just waiting on and to pick it up. We'll be ready to pick it up right when the safety car comes in, which probably going to come in this lap or the next lap. So either a lap 33 restart or a lap 34 restart. It's going to be a very tricky one with all those drivers on the penalties. Only 4 drivers in this one, or in fact 3 drivers without a time penalty to their name. Which is pretty normal, I mean, which is super normal. I mean, around Austria you see a lot of so many drivers that get track limit penalties, so it's not a surprise, but I'm sure we'll get to it, and safety car indeed is going to be in this lap. And now safety car is in already. Matthias has went for it for the restart, and we're about to find out whether Japes is in any under pressure from the car behind. No, he's not. What about all the other drivers right behind at the back, trying to defend their position and keep hands in? I think everybody has got a very good start. Everybody has, apart from Rory. He's far behind, along with the Ferrari, who's already lapped, but then everybody's got a very good start, competitive. That not really being any pressure at the moment, but one man is going to be in big pressure, and Aiden's going to run super wide. He's going to collide. He's really going to collide. I mean, he ran super wide and then came back on the circuit just right away, and that then definitely made him have some contact with that Red Bull, and that is going to make a spin for the RB driver, and he's gonna be falling towards the back of the grid into P9, and now a lot of points are going to be going for him, and he's going to have to run wide, and now James has run super wide. He's going to lose a lot of positions. He's got 10-second time penalty, and now victory chances are going to go from probably about 5 to 0 now at the moment. Not 0, but still falling far back, because look at that. very aggressively. DRS gets enabled as well, but that was close. I mean, they were side by side, maybe pushed a little bit wide by that. Either he outbraked himself, you know, he maybe would have been behind the car, and then not being able to judge the braking zone could have happened, but that is a big one. And now all three drivers that don't have a time penalty to their name are currently in the top 3. So that is something. And Swaggy, I mean, starting last on the grid, remember, is still in P3. With, I mean, Japes, after the early struggles, I mean, he made a very good ground, but those penalties, of course, I mean, others could have gotten as well. Anybody inside those that top 3 could have gotten that, but they have not by driving something amazing. What about them just right now? There might be a chance for it now, and Swaggy quite be going for it at the moment. He wants to go for that second place without a doubt. It's going to be soft tires versus medium tires at the moment. And I think anything he has to do, he needs to do it now, because those soft tires aren't going to be lasting him any longer than next lap. Because now we're going to be moving towards lap 35, second last lap of the Grand Prix, and very end of it. And there's going to be fighting for position already, or is it? Or indeed it is going to be fighting for position, but no, we're not quite sure why the Mercedes driver was ghosted. So there was a little bit of a confusion there for the moment. Meanwhile, having a look at this one as well. That is between these two, Stream and Wolf are going to be there with each other, fighting for 7th place at the moment so far, with Scrapey in 6th place. Now there's going to be switch of positions, and indeed it will be. Swaggy wants to go get this position back, but James has quite done it so far, but I think it's going to be very tricky for him to pull away any types of seconds. And he's got 13 seconds of time penalty now with that, of course, that 10 seconds added. I wonder if he'll get that taken by the stewards, because he could argue that he was pushed by another car and really awarded that penalty, so he might get that away with that, but we just don't know yet. So yeah, by now he's gonna fall quite back. He might just end up falling back outside the top 5 for sure, because the 13-second time penalty. Meanwhile, Stream has moving forward and has gotten the overtake, and we're just getting towards the final lap of the Grand Prix and entering the final lap of this race, fighting with these two. These two teammates are going to be fighting each other for this race lead. Who's going to be taking that though? Is it going to be the Red Bull? Oh, sorry, is it going to be Grief, or is it going to be Matthias? On track at the moment. They're just making their way in the middle sector at the moment, trying to do everything they can. Meanwhile, James is going to try and put pressure on Grief there. He's going to go on the inside line and keep it there, give him some scrapes there, and give him some interesting there. It's going to be side by side. They haven't quite gave up at all. Nobody has done so. James now has the inside line, might have a chance to really give them the taste of their own medicine for a little bit. Indeed, for a little bit does, because they go super wide, does Grief. Meanwhile, Matthias is going to be clear and ahead of everyone, and his chance over that line pretty much led throughout the race to the two teammates. It is going to be Matthias in the Kick Sauber coming over the line and win the Austrian Grand Prix round 1 here at All Racing League. James is going to fall through Grief. He's going to finish in P2 with the penalties to others, along with Swaggy with the help of those penalties in P3. James only P4 falling back. That is a very good result still with the amount of penalties he had. With Chris Scrapey in P5, with Creaky in P6, followed by Roar in P7, with Streamy P8, Agent P9, and Tams P8, P10 at the moment. Final point scoring positions. That's going to be Haggy in P10 in that Ferrari, and it's a Kick Sauber 1-2, and that is an amazing race from Matthias, and he's really going to have to enjoy it, and he sure will be enjoying it. Very nicely done. And those are your podium celebrations, ladies and gentlemen, at the moment. The two Kick Sauber teammates have won it for them, and now they will lead the Constructors' Championship. And that is the end of this one for sure. Fantastic job done by all these drivers all around. I think most overtakes was the Wecarb Racing Bulls. I don't know who was the driver, but Very well done, and these are going to be your race results in the 20 seconds remaining. I got to you is Matthias finished P1, starting P2 with the Garif in P2 as well, with Swaggy in P3, a very good podium after starting P13, along with Japes ending up in P4 after starting on pole with problems. I think it's a good result for him. Scrapey completing the top 5 with Creaky, Rory, Streamy, Agent, along with Tams completing the top 10 with Haggy, Cherry Montergi, the final driver. Other 3 remaining DNF'd out of this one. So hope you all watching really enjoyed it. It's myself, Zabby, and I hope you all watching really enjoyed it. It's all from us here at All's Racing. This was round 1, tier 2 for new season and a brand new season, season 5 for the league, and we should be seeing you for the round 2 very soon. It was myself, Zabby, and it was from all of us here at All's Racing. Have a good evening, and I'm out.